Well, summer heat is hitting hard, and the heat could be doing more damage than you think. Dr. Edward Chafizadeh, a cardiologist at St. David's Medical Center, joins us now. And, Doc, we all know that heat exhaustion, heat stroke could be one of the big, two of the big leaders in heat-related deaths. And heat-related deaths are actually one of the biggest weather-related death causes in the country. So one thing we don't really think about is how it affects our cardiovascular system and our heart. So if you can run through it with us real quick and tell the folks at home what they can expect with that.
You bet. You know, it seems to be it's a big concern. The heart really has to work harder when it gets really hot. If you've got heat exhaustion or heat stroke, obviously your heart's going to have to work harder. But even just a part way there, if you're sweating a lot, if you're trying to cool your body off in a lot of heat, your heart has to work harder, and that can be tough on people, especially people with pre-existing heart disease. So someone who has congestive heart failure will really struggle in the heat.
All right, so what can we do to help lower our risks in general, overall?
I think it's the same kind of rules that you would follow for just preventing heat trouble in general. Stay well hydrated. Try to stay inside as much as possible. I tell my patients that if they're going to go outside and do things like exercise or garden, they should try to do them in the mornings during the summer because, you know, later in the day, obviously, it gets a lot hotter. So, you know, sunscreen, hydrate, stay in the shade as much as possible, and avoid getting, you know, your body under a lot of stress.
What about preventative maintenance, things we can do before the summer hits? You know, in the wintertime, our diets, an example. What else can we do to help preventatively before the heat hits?
You know, you don't want to put your heart into jeopardy no matter what the temperature is. So, you know, good healthy lifestyle, exercising, eating healthy, not smoking, all the things that we advise people to do anyway are going to be good advice to prevent heart disease in the heat as well.
And we've been talking about over the past week or so the heat index a lot around the Weather Center. Is that a big thing people need to be worried about, the number, how your body perceives the heat? Because in reality, that is your reality, right?
I think it really is, because with more humidity comes more trouble. You know, at the heat index, obviously, temperatures plus humidity make a big difference. And if it's real humid, it's harder for us to sweat and harder for us to cool ourselves down. And so people get sicker when they get hotter, and you're more likely to get really hot with a high heat index.
All right. Any other suggestions for folks who want to try to avoid any type of heat-related illness whatsoever?
And I think the big thing is be smart. Take your bottle of water with you if you're going to go out for a walk at Town Lake. You know, try to do things early in the day. Try to stay out of the big sunny middle of the day if you can, and you know, just take care of yourself.
And quickly, any signs that we have to look for if a friend of yours, maybe you think that they are suffering from something like that?
Well, if you're having a heart problem, you know, the usual things, chest pain, shortness of breath, those are going to be obvious no matter what the temperature, concerning no matter what the temperature. But in the heat, if you don't sweat, if you were sweating and you quit sweating, if somebody's cold and clammy, they're starting to look pale, those are kind of signs that we should be looking out for to take care of our friends and family if we need to.
All right, Doc, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.